Okay, so how we want to start this is we want to use 3 to even 4 trash bags. I'm going to use all of my materials at the moment. The first time I'm making this one, I used 3/4 of the pea pebbles and 3/4 of the rubber nuggets. Now, why I'm using rubber nuggets is to also fill up space. These are obviously a lot lighter than the rocks, but they fill up more space. So I'm going to use these 2 bags first, see how it fills out. Then I'm going to use a full bag of the rocks and a full bag of the nuggets. I don't know how big this is going to be, but probably a little bigger than conventionally. Now, looking at the weight of this bag here, a full bag of rocks feels pretty heavy. I'm going to add on this right here. So this is obviously going to be a heavier bag. It's going to require me to do a lot more, use more materials to hold in and for it not to break. Okay, we'll see how this goes. All right, so I'm going to take out, I took out 5 bags because feeling the weight of those 2 rocks, bag of rocks, I think I'm going to need a little bit more. Just to start off without having these rocks to break through the bag. So I'm just going to open them all up. Alright, so I decided to not use the extra bag of mulch because I feel like the size would be just too impractical. And as of right now, this feels like a good amount of weight for me. I'm grabbing it with all 5 bags. And I'm glad I chose 5 bags because this feels like it's a nice weight to play with. Not overly doing it. If I decide to do another one, I'll use the other bag of mulch. But so now what I'm going to do, I have all the bags together. I'm going to take it and create one tight piece as much as I can, make it nice and pretty. So I'll start with the inside, tight as one. I'm going to pull each one of them nice and tight. 1, 2. Make sure I get all the bags together. It's a little messy. 3, 4, and 5. To get all the air out as I can. And as you can tell, it's a little bit bigger than this one here. Has more stuff in it. But at the same time, these will be a fun bag to play with. I'm gonna bring this up back a little bit, see what I'm doing. So I'm folding it over, and then I'm going to try to flip it over as best as I can, because it's a little bit tight, or a little bit heavy. Point. There we go. Pull it over. And there we go. And then we flip it. Try to get as best as possible. And then we have all of the ends together to make one bag. It's plywood. And I like the way it feels right now. I'm going to try to keep the play in there as much as possible. And all I'm going to do is anchor it up with some duct tape, and then cover it up with duct tape, and then cut out a piece of tarp to cover it up again, and then figure out where I'm going to put the straps, because I think I'm going to add some straps to this one, but maybe even, well, maybe for sure add straps to this one as well. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go to get some new or some more duct tape because I did use most of it on the first bag. But I got the first layer of duct tape on the bag, and a big thing to do is when you're taping up the bag, making sure that you're not pulling tight on the tape. You pull up, gently lay down onto the plastic bag and then anchor it. Because what you want to have is some play inside the bag. Okay, so when I pick up this bag here and I lay it on my shoulder, you can tell that it lays nice and soft on my shoulder because I don't want to brick. I made that mistake with the first one. So learning from experience, make sure that you're not trying to make it so tight, but just covering for the exterior to be pretty much more durable. So when you lay it down, the rocks and everything inside is gonna come out. So when laying down the bag, I make sure to keep some pressure or some fluff, some air inside so that you can see the squishiness on top here. And so there's air inside actually, that's not gonna get out, hopefully. And what we'll do is the next portion of this is I'll be getting the tarp, cutting out, and then I'm gonna tape up over again, and then see how I can make these straps. I'm gonna make some straps for this one as well, so I can actually move it around a little bit better. And then I'll add one light for light reps, one heavier, and then turns out that I could probably make an even bigger one, but I'm gonna use this one for a little while, and we'll see how that goes. Cool. Here I have the tarp, and what I did was I cut out a huge square, and I have taped it, basically wrapped at each side. And what I'm gonna do is, this is gonna be the portion where I'm going to create kind of like a gift wrap. So I'm leaving this fairly loose because I want there to be still some play, and you don't want to tighten up too much of the tarp onto the bag because it's tempting, but this makes it really sturdy, and this is the part where it's kind of difficult to keep it loose. So leaving out some space, but taping the tarp to the bag underneath, but without it being too tight. So that's what we're gonna do, and we'll see how that ends up. Okay, so now I'm gonna use some rope. I decided to buy some rope because I felt like using the straps that I made out of the tarp was not gonna be as effective. So I kind of wanted this to be a little bit sturdier. So what I'm gonna do is, and what I kept here too, if you notice, is that I have some pockets here that I can use to get the rope through. You see that my fingers can come through here. And those pockets are gonna be essential because what I wanna do is you can see it pulls here. So these two pockets on the end are gonna be for the rope to go through. Times to figure out how I'm gonna do the rope. But what I figured out is that I'm gonna be doing a twist-like technique. So I'm gonna be putting the end here and then basically braiding, keeping an end opening, so that we get like a DNA looking type function. That's just to kind of thicken up the rope so that it's not so thin, but also give me a place to tie it and loop it into something. I do this like here. Alright, get that end there. And I just feel like the rope is just going to be a much better way to functionally feel and let this bag move around easier. Now the way I'm gonna thread it, I'm gonna thread through this loopy side first, so that it's a lot easier to get through. Push it through. There we go. And one little side here, another opening. Now the end I put through, tie it down. So now we have a nice little area to kind of gauge how far I want to go. Okay. The end part, I actually want to unthread and keep it double together to make a handle. So I'm gonna do this a little bit more. And tie through. I'm gonna go a little bit further here. A little bit more. There we go. There's the loop, and I'm gonna come through here, and now I have a nice little place to tie it around. Extra going around here, and then I'm gonna tape the end here. But what you can tell is that I have a nice little grip here that when I tape over it, the whole thing, it'll be a lot nicer and to work with. And I think I'm gonna keep the tape or the rope looking like it's rope and not cover it up. But as you can see, I have a nice handle, and the rest of it is just grabbing the connection. All right, so now my bag is pretty much functional. It's got to cover it with tape, but it's to test out my strap that I got. I decided not to put some straps in the middle because I don't need them, seeing that the straps that I have right now pretty much allow me to do exactly what I want to do, which is I want to do some snatches, some cleans, excuse me, and so I can pick it up. As you can see, the bag is very pliable. Here, I can move it up, bring it down, up, down, here. My hips. And there we have a very functional, very durable, tough sandbag that will last me probably a good while. Thanks for watching.